And I stood upon the sand of the sea, or as you can see in your companion Bible, if you have one, this should say, he stood upon the sand of the sea. The dragon stood upon the sand of the sea, and this is when he makes that covenant with many for 1 week, as you can read of in Daniel 9:27, the covenant of a one-world system. And I saw a beast rise up out of the sea. This is the political beast, the one-world political system, having 7 heads, 7 dominions, and 10 horns. And those 10 horns are 10 fallen angel kings that are cast out of heaven with Satan. They're part of Daniel's 4th beast that you can read of in Daniel chapter 7. Daniel's 4th beast being exclusively supernatural. And that's what happens at the woe of the 5th trumpet, is Satan and his angels are cast out of heaven unto the earth. That 4th beast has to be here first. And upon his horns 10 crowns, because they're 10 kings, 10 fallen angel kings, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and as we know from Daniel 7, this is symbolic of the Kenites and their 4 hidden dynasties of education, economics, politics, and religion that we saw the globalization of with the first 4 trumpets in the build-up to this woe of the 5th trumpet. And his feet as the feet of a bear. We also saw a bear in Daniel chapter 7, symbolic of Esau, the communistic nations headed by Esau, whose name was Edom, which means red, that red nation, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. Believe it or not, these are the Christian nations. You have to figure in all the geography of the world if you're talking about a one-world system. And the scepter of Judah is in Great Britain, called Ephraim prophetically, and the United States is Manasseh. So there you have the king of the south of Daniel chapter 11, Esau being the king of the north, and the leopard is symbolic of the Kenites and their 4 hidden dynasties, which is the infrastructure of this one world system. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. The dragon would have to be here in order to do this, and this is when he confirms the covenant with many for 1 week. The dragon being Satan, who is part of that 4th beast of Daniel chapter 7, Satan and his angels, including those 10 fallen angel kings, the 10 horns. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. This is the 5th vial, and his deadly wound was healed. And here's where it goes from 555 to 666. And all the world wondered after the beast, because when Satan appears, that heals the wound to the political system, because they'll think that Jesus has returned. All but God's elect, all but those with the seal of God in their forehead. And they worship the dragon, they worship Satan once he appeared as the false Christ, which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? Because if all nations are as one in a one-world system, they can't make war with each other, or they'd be attacking themselves. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. This is the little horn, Satan's role of Antichrist, that you can read of in Daniel 7 as well. That little horn comes from Daniel's 4th beast. And power was given unto him to continue 42 months. That was 3.5 years, but now it's been shortened. So we're talking about 2.5 months once Satan appears as the false Christ. 2.5 months between the 6th trumpet and the 7th trumpet. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, there it is again, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And this looks forward to when he kills the 2 witnesses. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, the set-aside ones, those who know the truth at that time. Those that know we don't gather back to Christ until after the son of perdition sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, as it's written in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, the son of perdition being Satan. And in verse 11, we see him appear. This is the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, because he is the dragon, and he comes up out of the earth. The political beast came up out of the sea. So remember, we saw over and over again the earth and the sea mentioned. And in this chapter, we saw a political beast rise up out of the sea. It was wounded to death. And now here we see another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. The two horns being the theocracy, the governmental and the ecclesiastical. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, all the power of the political beast, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. That's pneuma in the Greek, that word life, which means spirit. And what sort of spirit does Satan deal in? His evil spirit. So this image is an image of Satan. He exalteth himself above all that is called God or worshipped, as we know from 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. So obviously this image is an image of him. So when he says to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, what he's really saying there is that they should make him king over them. And he is the king of Babylon of the end times. Babylon means confusion. And they will make him king over them because they don't know that it's Satan. They're going to think that it's Jesus because of these miracles that he performs, which is also written of in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And he had power to give life, that's pneuma, spirit, unto the image of the beast, an image of Satan, transmitted throughout the world on all the television screens, computer screens, phones, that the image of the beast should both speak. He speaks great things and blasphemies, as it's written in this chapter as well as Daniel 7, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That is to say, delivered up to death. Death is one of Satan's names. If he were to literally kill people, everyone would know he wasn't really Jesus. By peace shall he destroy many, as it's written in Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, a mark of deception in their mind, whereby they do Satan's work for him. That's what in their right hand means. It means the work that you do. It's a figure of speech, not literally in their right hand, but because they think that he's Christ, they'll do whatever he says. They'll nurse along his work, being impregnated in their minds with the mark of the beast, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And if you know that it's Satan's one world system, why would you want to buy or sell within that system? You would have made preparations beforehand, knowing that this was going to happen, right? Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, that man of sin. Satan's called a man in Isaiah 14 as well as Ezekiel chapter 28. So it's no marvel that he's called a man here as well. He's called the man of sin in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And his number is 666. That's 666, which is when Satan appears in Jerusalem as the false Christ. The true Christ does not return until 777. That is to say, the seventh trumpet, the seventh vial, and within the time frame of the seventh seal. How much easier could God have possibly made this to understand? 6 comes before 7.